what's the game that stood out to you, man? What are the games that you felt that really shocked you, or at least the game that really like blew you away?
I'll be honest with you. It was the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers game. I know you're ripping your jersey, so I didn't mention it because of that. It was just I was expecting that the Los Angeles Clippers were going to win game one at home against a pretty solid Mavericks team. But bro, I was 100% wrong. The Mavericks played extremely well. And I think the one thing that really kind of stood out to me was really just Dallas's ability to just shoot well from the field. They shot 50% of the field. They shot 50% from the field compared to the 44% that the Clippers had. And that's even with having home court advantage. And when you look at what Dallas was able to do from the three-point line, they were 17 of 36. They shot just a touch over 47%. You compare that with the Clippers shot 27.5% behind the three-point line. So, Dallas definitely got a little bit of an advantage there. They were able to get some nice threes. Luka was a focal point in that. I believe he knocked down 5 threes, but they got good contributions from Dorian Finney-Smith. He had 18 points, knocked down a couple 3-point shots. You also had Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he knocked down 5 3-pointers as well, if I'm not mistaken. So they got great production outside of Luka and Kristaps. They were able to get Tim Hardaway in double figures. They were able to get Jalen Brunson in double figures. Like I mentioned, Dorian Finney-Smith and who was it? Tim Hardaway Jr. They both played very well. So when you compare that, and when you look at the team that they have, it's not just Luka carrying. I mean, Luka does a lot of the damage for the Mavericks. But the fact of the matter is they're getting great production from guys that need to step up. Even guys coming off the bench, they're stepping up and doing what they need to do. Now, the thing that I'm kind of focused on with this game is, okay, the Clippers didn't probably play the best game that they could have. They left some shots out on the court, even though the Kawhi probably had one of the most electrifying dunks of the weekend. He dunked on, was it Maxi Kleba, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an amazing dunk, and the Clippers definitely got hyped from that, but they really couldn't carry the momentum from that dunk for the rest of the game because the Mavericks were just able to come back and basically just go shot for shot with the Clippers. And then at the end, they were able to get some separation from the Clippers, and they ended up winning the game by 10 points. I know they probably knocked out a couple, garbage time free throws to kind of extend the lead, but still winning 10 points on the road in the first game of the series, that's huge. And going into game 2, they're going to be very confident, and they're going to, I imagine they're going to be freaking licking their chops at the possibility of winning game 2 and going back to Dallas up 2-0 in the series. That's a real possibility, but you have to understand that the Clippers, look, Kawhi didn't necessarily have the best game. He was a little bit inefficient from the field. Paul George had an okay game, and then some of the role players had a decent game, but they, like I said, they left some shots out there. They could have made a more of a compelling game. But I do expect that Kawhi and Paul George are going to be ready to go for game 2, and I think they're going to give Dallas everything that they got to try to even the series when they go back to Dallas for game 3. But all in all, yeah, this was probably the most surprising result of the weekend just because I had the Clippers winning game 1. But Dallas shocked me, and they got the win on the road. Good for them.
Yeah, no, it was a big game for us. I know that we're trying to keep a little bit quicker tonight, guys. It is already midnight. We're starting a little late tonight. Both of us had a lot of other priorities. But as a Mavericks fan watching this game, hyped, happy, excited, you know what I'm saying? Everybody was hitting shots. Now, the realistic portion of this game that concerns me is the amount of threes the team took as a unit. That was 36 threes. The amount of difficulty it is going to be to hit 47% from the three-point line going forward in this series against a relatively good defensive team is little to none. We shot the lights out. I did not like the fact that we took as many as we did. Granted, we did make a lot, but that leaves false confidence. Tim Hardaway Jr. is a particular player that when he shoots and he makes a few, he tends to kind of continue to shoot. It's like that saying, shoot or shoot. You know, if I miss 1,000 shots, I'll never know if I can make another one. However, I butchered that quote, but it's the point. I'm worried that this is how they're going to treat the rest of the series. We are not a consistent 3-point shooting team. Granted, Luka does a lot of his step backs. He creates separations on mismatches. KP is a shooting guard center to me because the man just does not like to play back to the basket. Tim Hardaway Jr. is our spark off the bench. Granted, he started today or Saturday. And then Dorian Finney-Smith has been a very big X factor for the Mavs in the entire, lengthiness of the season. So I'm concerned. I don't want them to go into the game thinking that this is how the rest of the series is going to go. Kawhi Leonard still had a great game with 26 points and 10 rebounds. So we do have to do a little bit better at trying to contain their best player. Granted, that is a very hard and difficult task for anybody to do, with Kawhi Leonard being one of the best players in the world. And Paul George, we don't know if this is going to be a continuous factor. Is he going to continue to be playoff P? Is he going to come out of nowhere and show us that he was an MVP candidate a few years ago? I don't know, but I don't want to look too far into this game. I am happy that we did steal one, but going forward, the Mavs need to figure out a way to lock up on defense a little bit better and to find ways to get easier shots. Because if we rely on the 3-point shot for the remainder of this series, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So, but coming from me, this game was definitely not a shock because I expected to win this game because I felt disrespected, and a lot of players and analysts said that we would lose this series overall. So I think this was a statement for us.